Coach, what I know it's not easy to explain the mistakes and things like that, but have you seen any semblance of maybe some consistency as far as playing together?
If we go 8 for 17 from the free throw line against Davidson and miss a whole bunch of easy shots, and we kind of got the Oklahoma game going maybe the way we wanted to go, and we throw the ball to them a couple times and miss some more free throws. So, I mean, it isn't good, but it isn't as bad sometimes. Things are never as good as you think they are, and they're never as bad as you think they are. We're going to be all right. We get things straightened out. I mean, the truth is, we've played to this point a heck of a schedule. I mean, it's, according to whoever does that, the 4th best schedule in the country. So we're not playing what all those other people are playing right now. Not all those other people, but the majority of those other people. All politically correct.
All the three. So how do you say you're not as bad and you'll get it turned around? How do you accomplish that while in the throes of something that has to be really frustrating for you and everybody else concerned here, and not kind of lose it right now?
We're not going to lose it. I mean, that's 31 years we've never lost it. You got to learn from your mistakes. And it hasn't been, if it was just one guy, then you can fix it. But it's been a whole bunch of different guys. And we're learning, and they're doing their. We did a better job running offense yesterday in practice than we have all year. We've got to score points. It's. I think what Jabari goes like whatever he went 3 for 4 and then misses the next 6. We just got to do a better job. We got to do a better job. Dennis has got to do a better job finishing around the rim. But that's not just Dennis. I mean, Oklahoma game, we got a layup, and Dom misses a wide open layup. Wide open layup. And then we have 3 2-on-1s and don't finish any of the 2-on-1s. And the crazy thing about it is because we're going to try to play faster, we've worked more on 2-on-1s and 3-on-2s and 4-on-3s than we have since I've been here.
Coach, kind of going off that, VMI plays that faster, style, and then pressing and trying to get things going fast. I mean, is this kind of a game where maybe some of that work can kind of, come to the surface, so to speak? Or?
Justin, we don't want them to play fast. We want to play fast. Right. People who play fast don't let the other team play fast. The ones that are good at it. Most people who get a lot of transition baskets get a lot of it off their defense. We haven't done that as much as we need to. And, for as much as we think we're maybe a veteran team, we're not. We're not a veteran team in playing the way that we're trying to play. I told you guys in the beginning that Wani practiced every day last year. Eric didn't. Eric got a broken hand. They put a pin in it. why you want to try to rush him back when he's not going to play. So he's really a first-year guy.
So what kind of style do you see this game then tomorrow? And, you know, you're talking about a team that, you know, is averaging, for VMI, is averaging, what, 84, 85 a game? I mean, you know, what do you see? I mean, obviously you're probably not going to let them score that many, but...
Well, you take opportunities that are there. You know, you don't force things, but you take opportunities that are there. You know, our game's about creating numbers. You want to create 2-on-1s. You want to create 3-on-2s. You know, you always. That's what everybody does. That's what good offense is creating numbers. You try to create the numbers in your favor. And if we have numbers, which is what we've always done. If we have numbers, we want to attack. If you don't have numbers, then you run offense. What we haven't done is we've done such a poor job of running offense that we haven't given it time to create numbers. We haven't, you say run offense and all of a sudden we pass it and make a couple half-hearted cuts and run out and ball screen. And we have not, as hard as, we spent time on it because we thought that was something that we would be able to do. We haven't done a very good job of taking advantage of ball screens. We have to do a better job of taking advantage of ball screens.
One thing.
But it shouldn't just be ball screen,
One thing that is, I guess, hard to understand is you're having problems shooting the ball and shooting under 40%. Yet almost every kid that you have played was a scorer at one time in high school or wherever. I know they spent their time in the gym since they were 5 years old shooting the ball. Why does that happen?
Well, Bob, there are scorers that don't shoot the ball real well. I don't think any of us would say, Kevin Jones was a great shooter, but he got us 20 a game. You think if you say you miss 2 jump shots, but you get 2 layups in your mind, you say, well, I'm 2 for 4, I'm not having that bad a day. So to shoot the next jump shot, you're still shooting with some confidence because you're making shots. And when you shoot exclusively jump shots, and now all of a sudden you're 0 for 4, now you're saying, man, is this thing ever going to go in? And we've got to do a better job. But, in all honesty, Bob, how many layups have we missed? And, we make some of those layups, and all of a sudden, you look at the shooting percentage, and it's pretty good. And again, I go back to KJ. We all know KJ made some threes, but he wasn't the most consistent three-point shooter. But he always shot a good percentage because he found other ways to score. Scoring is not always just shooting the ball. There are guys that score because they really shoot the ball, but there's a lot of other guys that score because they find other ways to score. I had Ruben Patterson played in the league for 10 years, and Ruben couldn't make a shot from me to you, but he scored. He found ways to score.
KJ was very good offensive rebounder, got a lot of points that way. Is there anybody on this team that can do that?
Well, I think if we could keep Eric out of foul trouble, I think he can. Dennis did a better job in the second half. That's something that. But we had a couple flurries where we got 3 shots from 2 feet, didn't make any of them. We got to do a better job of making shots. it seems to be pretty simple, but when you got people flying at you, and Kevin Noreen gets a rebound and puts it up, and they smack it off the board, and it ends up being a transition. We've got to do a better job of scoring around the basket. We haven't scored around the basket very well. Anybody who shoots a high percentage scores around the basket. You know, you can shoot, if you shoot 38% from three for a team, you're pretty good. You're a pretty good three-point shooting team. But if you look at your stats, you're not a very good field goal percentage team. You shoot a lot of them, 38%. You got to score somewhere. You're going to have a high field goal percentage. You score around the goal. I mean, the best teams, we shot over 50 as a team, you know, a few times. But we had guys who could score around the basket. You know, you have a couple guys that shoot, you know, a guy who shoots almost 60% and somebody else who shoots 52, and they take the bulk of your shots, you're going to have a pretty good field goal percentage team. Stats sometimes can be misleading. Sometimes.
With regard to your schedule, you've had some gaps, and you're looking at 6 games in the first 25 days or so. Does that, I know practice is nice, but games are usually the best way to go. Is that prohibitive at all in trying to tighten things up quicker?
No, I think it'll help us.
Good.
I really do. I think it'll help us.
Because you can just focus a little bit better. I mean, if it's a game, there's so many things going on, but you can control the practice environment.
Well, it's hard to assimilate games in practice. That's why, you know, if high school guys scrimmage as many times as they can scrimmage. You know, you scrimmage against somebody else. It helps you.
What do you like specifically about Wani so far? I mean, his assist-to-turnover ratio isn't what you desire, but is he doing a good job running the team?
I mean, yeah, no. I mean, I don't think he's done as good a job on ball screens. You know, attacking people on ball screens is what maybe we thought he would, but I mean, he's getting us in offense. You know, I said last night, I mean, I may be wrong, but if I'm wrong, I'm not wrong by much. Ruoff has as many assists as Darius did, and everybody, and rightfully so, said Darius was a heck of a point guard. But our point guard don't have the ball all the time. You know, when you play motion, and so many more guys touch the ball, so many more guys have an opportunity to make an assist. And in the end, I really believe at the end of the day, it makes you better because you have more guys who can handle the ball, more guys that can make passes, more guys that can make decisions. So pressure shouldn't bother you as much because you have more guys that can make decisions. That doesn't happen overnight. I mean, the truth is we could have played some people and we could have been, whatever, 4-0 right now, and everybody would think, you know, they're going to be really good. But we didn't. You know, we came out of the gate playing people pretty good.
Coach, you were talking the other night about some guys, excuse me, some guys just haven't stepped up and said, okay, this is going to be my spot. Do you feel good with who your starting five is going to be? First couple of guys off the bench as far as the rotation goes, or are we still searching for those?
Well, we basically started 4 guys at 4 spots, and then the other spot we've kind of tried to figure out who was playing better that day. Justin, I don't think that matters, honestly. I mean, I think it's you know, if you have 5 guys that are playing consistently where they start or not. You know, I mean, I think I told you. I mean, you look, Darnell Burton is one of the top 10 scorers in the history of Cincinnati basketball. He never started a game for me because I thought he was so effective coming off the bench and he could come in and change game scores. And so he never started a game. Terrence Gibson never started a game until we got 2 guys hurt in the NCAA tournament, and I started him because he was a game changer. He could came in and changed it different. They were different. Darnell could make shots. Terrence just really turned up the defensive pressure. But, you know, there isn't any question they were one of our 5 best players. You know, so you know, who starts and who doesn't start, I don't think is.
Do you feel comfortable with 5 guys in general playing consistently?
Well, we haven't.
Yeah.
We haven't. But then again, Justin, if we hadn't played who we played, I think everybody'd be saying, you know, man, it'll be hard to figure out which one of those guys you want to start. Because for other reasons, you know, not that they haven't played well, but you know that you got, you know, some good players at that position. You know, I mean, people say, well, you know, how do you figure out whether you're going to start Gary Brown or Jabari Hines? Which is kind of what I said. I mean, it's never as bad as you think it is, and it's never as good as you think it is.
Why have your big guys fouled so much? You three big guys?
Well, Eric's fouled because he just doesn't know how to play. You know, and honestly, he's trying. He really is trying. It's, you know, he gets better all the time. And they've got some tough calls. You go back and look at the tape. They've got some tough calls. And that's part of it.
Is that something you think the tough calls will back off when they get into conference play or later in the season, or are they just going to call the games that way?
I don't know. I mean, I think there's been instances, but I mean, and I'm not saying it's just us, but there's instances where guys go to the basket and there's a foul and no one touches them. And you know, I mean, that's just not us. I'm just saying that, you know, those guys miss calls. You know, what I try to explain to them is, like, you know, you say how many fouls you get. They said 5. I said, no, you don't. You get 4. The 5th one, you're out. So you've got 4 fouls. So now if you do something stupid, now you've got 3. And then I think we all know, you know, you're going to get some just because you play hard, you know. So you can't afford to make dumb ones. And they're going to miss some. That's just the nature of the game. They're going to miss some. So what we've got to do is we've got to get away from the dumb ones, because we've made some really dumb ones.
Those are the ones that are in your control, really.
Yeah. Right.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.